And one, we are live. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another recap of Survivor 42. We're recapping episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got a lot to cover in this episode, but just thoughts about the season so far, Adam. What are you thinking? Impressions as of right
Love
now?
love the cast. Man, is this a happy, like, go lucky cast? Everyone seems to be like a fan of the show. I think they're definitely leaning more into casting as many fans as possible. I think they're
Yeah.
shying away from recruits because
Mm.
nowadays it's become so clear on when someone is a recruit. Back in the day, like almost would have never known that like Russell was a recruit. That Russell had never seen Survivor prior to his season. You would never know that Coach had never seen it, that Philip had never seen it. Nowadays, it's like so easy to tell. Oh, okay, that guy clearly has no idea. And I'm not saying there's no recruits. Clearly, there's still some. There's one person I had in mind from last season, Chantel definitely was not the biggest fan. I guess that was maybe because we knew that, but um, yeah, it's a little more easy to tell. I think nowadays who's the fans, who's been a lifelong fan, who maybe has just seen an episode or two. Um, so which I like. I mean, obviously, some of the greatest players ever have been recruits. Like again, Russell, Coach, Philip,
Earl.
James, Earl. Was Earl a recruit? Wow. Well, that makes his win even that more impressive.
Um,
Um, yeah. Um, yeah. So I'm definitely liking this season because I feel like it's leaning more towards true super fans. So yeah, overall, I mean, let's be honest. Like the first two or three episodes are usually the slowest because it's all about establishing who the people are as opposed to actual like strong gameplay. And some of the seasons that have started off bolsteringly strong in the beginning have ended up sort of falling flat because they're like trying to like recapture that epicness. Like I haven't been
41.
yeah. Well, I also haven't been I also haven't watched any of the current Australian season. I'm gonna watch it when it ends. But I heard the first couple episodes were just like holy shit, like really really good. And that it just has like really
Yeah,
just
that's what I've heard too. I've heard that
yeah
it really fell off after the first few episodes, which that's what
yeah
happens when you use Sandra to advertise all your stuff. But it's okay. I've
right
liked seeing the camp life of this season. I've
yeah
liked getting to know the people, and I feel
hmm
like now watching this from 42, I was like, oh, production does have the chance to actually show us this. So now I feel robbed of that in 41 because we didn't really get that, and
right
I found it interesting watching these first two episodes and seeing cast members of season 41 tweet out like, wow, it would have been nice to show our personalities a little bit, but I guess that wasn't an option. So
right
I feel for them there, but I'm definitely already liking this season more than 41 just because we are getting that crucial element of the game in the social strategy.
right yeah absolutely. I think some of the challenges have just been like recycled challenges that we've seen. So I've been tuning out mentally during those a bit, to be honest. But and also tribal council. I know this episode felt like a little more like is it Marianne? Is it Myra? Myra? But if you know how the editors work, you knew that this was going to be Myra from the start. Um,
Right.
So it's been a little predictable at Tribal Council thus far. Hasn't been a perfect start, but I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect, I guess, but
Heroes
I,
and Villains.
yeah, you're right. I definitely think Marianne's stock took a hit this episode, though. I mean, because we started out on the beach, and like she had such a strong showing first episode, but it was like complete opposite for this episode because it starts out with her tribe mates saying they're annoyed by her. So I thought that was a bit of a heel turn. Like I was a bit confused by that. I was like, well, if you're just going to include her tribe mates being annoyed, why are you making us
Right,
all fall in love with her in the first episode? Now,
right,
now, now we're conflicted. But hey,
right.
I still like her. I still like Marianne. So
Yeah. I this episode had a moment I really enjoyed, even though I'm a little jealous to be honest, because I am a vegetarian, just like High, and I always thought it would be such a. I pretty much accepted that if I ever get on, I'm going to have to, at the very least, eat fish. I mean, sometimes I might still have a fish every now and again, but I'm hoping to kick it. But I always thought, oh man, when I get on, that would be such a cool moment. Is like the struggle to because every like vegan or vegetarian that's been on the show like hasn't, as far as what we've seen, hasn't kicked it. Like I know Nora was a vegan and she sat out on some rewards. Um, I always thought that would be such a cool moment. So I took my idea, but um, I thought it was a cool moment.
You liked that moment? You liked that moment where I was struggling to eat the crab?
Yeah, it felt
Because
very old school.
me, a carnivore, was just like, I feel no sympathy for you, High. Eat the freaking crab and get over it. Like, if your reasoning for not wanting to eat meat, which obviously his is because the food industry is corrupt and you think they abuse animals and blah 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 blah. Well, then you're literally eating meat in about the cleanest, most evolutionistic or whatever way that you can. Like, you're literally killing the crab yourself so you can survive. So
Yeah,
I'm sure that Mother Earth or whoever High believes in will forgive him for that.
Mother Earth. Shout out to Mother Earth.
Shout out Mother Earth.
We don't talk about her enough. We'll have a whole episode dedicated to her soon. The other like early episode thing that I thought was interesting that I wanted to ask you and your thoughts was Mary. I know we spoke on Marianne a little bit, but like she's obviously a lot. She's obviously a bit much, but to us it's fun. To us it's fun. The question is, and it seems like everyone likes her. Like I don't know if everyone would trust her, would want to work with her, but it seems like just on a personal level, everybody likes Marianne. The question is her like it's at the point where they're like, oh man, Marianne, like that's kind of the sentiment. Like Lindsay was talking about her, she's like, she's a lot, but I still love her. But this is day 3. The question is, if Marianne makes it to the merge, is she going to become too much that people might vote her out just for peace of mind?
I mean, to me, it's like there's a lot of factors involved because I'm like, first of all, how long is that energy gonna last?
True.
Because it's only day 3. About how long does it take for fatigue and hunger to kick in? Because, I mean, they ain't getting that much. I mean, now that they got the fishing gear, maybe Jonathan can start, spearing them some fish. But either way,
Right.
you're still gonna be hungry. And then I feel like hopefully Marianne is socially smart enough to kind of pick up on the vibe of camp, which is, maybe I should scale it back a little bit, with how I'm talking and showing off that I'm a loose cannon. Because
Hmm.
the way that Marianne's portraying herself, while it's funny, it's like that could affect the way that people perceive you, and that could affect the reason that people want to work with you. I mean, she's on the bottom now. For sure. Like,
Yes.
if they go back to tribal, unless something really crazy happens, Marianne's next. 100%.
Yeah.
And she's
Um.
got to know that. So maybe that fear will stop that from happening. Maybe stop, and try to actually make some social moves because she needs to. She needs to get in with, I think if I was Marianne, I would try to oust Lindsay. I think I would try to. I would try to go in with Jonathan and Omar and because they aren't gonna break up. And
Mhm.
I would be like, okay, Lindsay, like she's a gamer, maybe use that against her and just be like, we need to get her out before she takes us all out, maybe something like that. But
Right.
I think that's the only angle Marianne could work personally.
Yeah. What's been like your favorite tribe to watch, like camp life?
There's always just something about the Green Tribe that draws me to him. I mean, both times the Green Tribe has caught my eye, and this time it's just been you've had like the dynamics are so weird because you have 3 duos over there on it's Vati, right? I don't want to
Yes.
misspeak. Okay, yeah. You got and the idol's been found now. You have Daniel, who I think had a heck of an episode, absolutely showing us some great gameplay with an amulet, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I just think that tribe is the most interesting to me right now. I think their dynamics are the most interesting, personally. So
Hmm.
yeah, for me, it's them.
I'm actually gonna go with the Orange Tribe for
That I
me.
mean, every tribe is interesting in their own way. Like there's not like
Taku.
there's not a Luvu this season. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like there's not like a because the blue tribe 42 was just like okay we get it you're winners blah 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 shut up you know but this time everybody's in it.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Taku, even though like we obviously are down two. I love the um the bromance between Omer and Jonathan. And
Yeah.
I also really like Lindsay. Like Lindsay might be the person who's her and Daniel are probably the two that have impressed me. I was gonna ask later like who's impressed you the most, but like Lindsay and Daniel are probably the two that have impressed me the most. Lindsay feels like even though she's not part of like the bromance, they feel like a tight three. Like they feel like I feel like Lindsay, Jonathan, and Omer are like three that could stick together. Like they feel like they're a little older, at least compared to the rest of the game. They're like all in their late 30s or early 40s. They feel like they have more old school values. I feel like they could be a tribe that lasts or alliance that maybe lasts a while. Um, and then obviously you have Mariana, who's been like the fan favorite of the season on the tribe, and like we did have Myra, who is gone, but we did have her, store with her brother, which is cool to watch. I also thought the whole like religion thing was pretty cool. How they like just by chance, like everybody on that tribe was like a Jewish lady, like a devout Catholic. Omer, is he Muslim? Is that what he said?
Yes. Yep.
Muslim. And then you have I forget what Marianne said she was, and then Myra. I don't.
Well, Marianne's seminary student, so that would also be Catholic.
Oh, okay,
And
gotcha. But it was
I don't think Jonathan's Catholic. I think he's Protestant. I think right.
or devout. Well, he's a devout Christian in some
Just
way.
Christian. Just
Yeah,
Christian. Yeah.
yeah. That's kind of cool that we got like, even though Lindsay had kind of made that joke that she wasn't, um, maybe
A
not.
good Jew.
Yeah. So I guess she doesn't practice as much, but or at all. I don't know her level of practicality, but we'll ask her when she's on. I thought that scene was interesting. It kind of gave me an old fashioned. I know every time there's like a moment that like reminds me of old school Survivor. It just I know I always mention it, but so clearly I'm more of a fan of the old school. But
I don't think
my,
you're more of a fan of the old school. I think you want to watch people being people, and we
yeah,
haven't seen that since 40. A little bit because we didn't get that a lot in 41, and it ain't the 41's cast fault, but
correct. What to move on, there was another important part of the show. We haven't really talked about Ica too much so far. The big thing that happened on Ica this week was well, first
Drea's
of
in
all,
trouble. Big
yeah,
shocker there.
she told I just don't understand why everyone's like, I know everyone's at home thinking like you shouldn't tell anyone, but there is no but. Like why
There
are
is
you
no but. Don't tell
why
anyone about your freaking advantages. Okay, for Mike, you only tell about your advantage if they need you for a vote and it's gonna be tied. Then you'd have to come clean and be like, I don't have a vote, guys. I'm
right.
sorry. Like you're gonna have to vote straight. And then for Dre, it's just so unnecessary. Like there's absolutely no reason for her because
No.
she has no liabilities on her advantages like Mike does. I mean, she has an extra vote and an amulet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why are you telling? There's no point in telling. You can develop strong bonds without using an idol or extra vote for leverage.
Right. Like I said from the get go, she's given me such Chantel vibes. I do feel like she's a little bit is going to be better at controlling her emotions than Chantel, but I think just like Chantel, she wants to be in control. She wants to have power, and it doesn't matter if she exposes her game. She will do whatever it takes um, to get that. And I don't think that is a winner. So like Drea, for me, I know I it spoke pretty highly about her in some of our preseason stuff, but like if there's one person who has been um well, her and Chanel, I feel like are two people that have like of whatever the opposite of impressed, depressed. They're depressing me. They're making me depressed. Yes. Who,
Yep.
if you had to say like one, if I had to say one person that's impressed me the most, and one person that's not impressed me the most, I'd say Drea for not impressed me, and impressed me the most has been Daniel for sure.
Impressed me the most has been Daniel as well. And then, I mean, I'm not going to say Drea hasn't impressed me because she's got two advantages and holds two
But
advantages.
by
But
chance, I mean,
she shot herself in the foot with her social and strategic gameplay. I don't know.
but also her advantages. It wasn't like she found them. You know, it was just like she just happened to be the one to go with Lindsay and High. You know, and then she just happened to be the one on the summit. You know, like she just, you know, I guess props to her for putting herself in the positions to find these things. But like, you know, it's not like Mike where he was running around and searching every crevice and then found it and then blew it by telling. Not only did he tell people, but he told people he wasn't even aligned with, or at least the edit made us seem that they weren't aligned with. I mean, Daniel clearly who he told people, right? Didn't who Daniel like went and told who?
Chanel. Yes.
Chanel, yeah. Who it seems like Mike is not aligned with.
So now everybody knows that Mike has an idol besides High.
Right. Right.
So that'd be interesting to see how High feels if he figures it out. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we already know." Then High probably feels like he's on the bottom, and there's a whole storyline. I think least impressed would probably be Marianne. I mean, she's in the worst position.
Well, so but also you weren't high on her before the season.
I wasn't, and I think she's great TV.
Yeah.
But as far as how her game is actually going,
I just mean like who's the one who like you thought would do good and just hasn't. Chanel, right? It's gotta be Chanel.
I'm cool with Chanel being the way she is right now.
Okay.
I mean, I think Chanel.
She's definitely not in trouble. She's definitely not.
She's not in trouble. She's in a solid position. You can't. All these people that are having big edits right now, I'm worried for them. You know what I'm saying?
You know who's like a dark horse for me right now, and I forget what team she's on, but Jenny is actually starting to emerge to me as like Green. She's kind of reminded me of like an Erica a little bit as far as like not being too, you know, exposed, like overexposed in the edits. She seems a lot more calmer as a person than I thought she would be. I thought maybe she would rub people the wrong way. And part of it too could be like the language barrier if English isn't her first language, but
she's also a puzzle queen, much like Erica.
Yes, she's a puzzle queen. She just seems to be very personable. Obviously, when Mike found the idol, he told Jenny.
Told her first, yeah.
He told Jenny first, yeah. So, yeah, Jenny's been impressing me for sure. But I thought Jenny would do good. Like I was high on her preseason, so I wouldn't say she's, you know, overachieved based on my expectations. But she's one to keep an eye out for sure. I feel like we definitely have not seen the apex of her game.
I thought about it. I feel like somebody who I thought would do well and didn't do well was Tori.
Yes, I agree.
I think because I thought she'd be pretty solid and just not because she's probably in the second worst position.
Yeah, but she's probably had the most up and down of anybody because she started off like strong, and it seemed like she was getting along with everyone. The Harry Potter conversation. She was cool with Zach and everyone. But then it was clear that like by the end of the first episode, it was either her or Zach, and luckily she stayed. And now she was presented with Drea with the idea of the All Girls Alliance, but for some reason, Drea couldn't just it couldn't just be an all girls alliance. She had to also say, "Oh, by the way, I have an extra vote," which to me felt more like a threat than it was a welcoming gift. It wasn't like a "Hey, come work with me because I have these tools, these advantages that we can use together." It felt more like if to me it felt more like, "Hey, I have these advantages, and if you don't join my all girls alliance, they're going to be used against you." Like that. That's how it came across to me over the edit. Maybe they felt differently, but clearly after that conversation, Swati and Tori felt like um, they couldn't work with Drea long term. So seems like that was the case. I'm assuming here, but it seems like based on the context we were given, that's the case. So yes, Tori has kind of gone up and down, which seems like she and Swati are becoming like a pretty locked duo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out if we see them go to tribal council, which I feel like they will. Don't feel like they're too strong of a team.
Yeah.
I'm a team that hasn't gone to tribal yet, being green. I mean, do you think they'll end up going anytime soon, or are they going to be the new Luvu?
It's weird because like I mean, they're not like as overtly. It's just they're so like they have Daniel and Jenny who are like sort of like very smart puzzle, but then like Mike, and I know Mike's a little older, but like him and Chanel are clearly very gifted. I also think High is a little underrated in his challenge. I don't want to say prowess, but I think they could be. But Luvu was just like, yeah, I think they could be. I think they could be. It'd
Yeah.
be also interesting. I know we talked about Mike. Like he made a decision to not say the phrase, which Brad found. The phrase "idol" first and 41, and obviously no one else had found it. So his broccoli thing, right? Or no, wait, did Xander find it first?
It was Xander
It was Xander,
first.
right? Okay. And Xander, as soon as he found it, the next challenge and every challenge after, he did the phrase. When Brad found it, every challenge did the phrase. Same thing with Nasir. First challenge, he did the phrase and activated it. Mike made the decision not to do it. And remember, he hasn't seen season 41 because it hadn't aired yet at the time of that filming. So I feel like if he had seen 41, that would have been I would have understood why he made that decision more. So it's interesting. We'll have to. I feel like we didn't really get a good explanation on why he didn't do it. I feel like there had to have been
Well,
some.
Daniel told him not to. That's what happened.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but why?
it
Why
was
did
it
Daniel
was
tell him not to?
Daniel's idea, and that was because one, Daniel said he didn't want the idol to be activated, and by
Yeah.
not activating Mike's idol, he won't activate the other two on the other tribes that would be used against him. So his thought process was have everybody who finds the idol lose their vote, hold on to Mike, which I think is Daniel's going to do. I think Daniel's going to hold Mike as hostage and not vote him out, but also try throughout the whole pre-merge to get him to not say the phrase.
Right. For Daniel, it's like anybody else on that tribe would have found that idol. I feel like they would have said, "Screw you, Daniel," and activated Chanel, Jenny, anybody, High, anybody. I feel like the perfect person found the idol for Daniel's
Right. I
game.
mean, Daniel's done more with this beware advantage than we saw all of 41. And
Hmm.
he's thinking outside the box, which is great to see. I mean, it's definitely what it takes to be a winner. So that's why I was. I mean, this was Daniel's episode for me. It was that was a moment I hadn't even thought about doing. I had never thought about you could be able to do that, but
Hmm.
good move.
Right, right. Um, I wanted to pull up our fantasy teams here.
Uh
Let's see.
oh.
Yep. So if you guys missed the first episode, if you guys missed beforehand, me and Gideon, just like last season, we picked fantasy teams. We snake picked guys and girls back and forth, um, 2 teams of 9, and the way that we did it last year was just to have the winner on your team. This year, each started off with 116 points, and whatever you when someone gets eliminated, whatever place they came in, whoever had that person on their team loses the place they came in. So, for example, if the person who came in 18th place was on your team, you will lose 18 points from your total score. So, let's see. Is it up or is it not up?
It's not up. Hold on. There we go.
There we go. So I had a bad first episode. I got Zach, I got Jackson, so that brought me down to 91. But you had Myra this time.
I did. I thought she might have been able to float towards the merge. I didn't really give her any chance to win, but I thought she might have been able to float. Didn't happen, so oh well.
Also, I'm realizing the score is wrong. You actually have 110, not 100, because we started with 126. So if Myra came in 16th place, that would be 126 minus 16, which would be 110. So scores aren't they're not as close as they appear.
It's okay.
But do you have a prediction for next episode? If you had to guess who's going home,
I think you're in big trouble, man. Because I think Marianne, and Drea are the 2 in danger of going right now.
And honestly, Roxroy.
And Roxroy and Tori. Like, I think you're really screwed here. Like,
yeah.
I think your team is probably gonna have to get carried by Romeo and Mike and Jenny. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. High's looking good. Chanel's looking not great, but good.
I mean, who on my team is in danger of going next round? Nobody.
Lydia.
Lydia's not gonna go next round.
And that's like a stretch. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Probably just Lydia.
I'm impressed that Lydia has stayed in the game this long. I take back everything I said about her. She's not gonna quit, guys.
Yeah. We never said that. Did we say that? I don't think we said that.
I did. I said I think she might quit, dude. I'm not sure. Cause I was like, why do they keep including this clip of her saying, I don't like camping. I don't like camping. I don't like camping. Like, just all the time in the promos. I was like, why are you including this, guys?
Right.
But she came up clutch. Lydia was clutch in the challenge. She
super clutch.
She had a clutch challenge performance. I wonder what Orange Tribe's thought process was behind putting Jonathan on the puzzle.
Right.
I don't really get that. Maybe he has a big voice, but
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Funny challenge, by the way, like super funny.
I actually enjoy this challenge. I know you were saying you tuned out challenges, but I thought this one was good.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was obviously we've seen this challenge a million times, but it's also like it's one of those challenges where it's like I personally like challenges where it can be anyone, like everyone is equal in their responsibility, but then like one person has the ability to step up and sort of like be the hero. Whereas this challenge, it's so like one person heavy, because the person who's the caller has such a huge responsibility with just being the caller, and then add the fact that they're also guiding people to the end, and they're basically the puzzle solvers. Basically solo. I mean, the other people have no say in the puzzle at all. It's like it feels more like an individual challenge, honestly. So, but it was funny. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy watching it. People running into objects and each other was pretty funny. Um, yeah, Lydia. I honestly was for a second. I was considering making her like my MVP of the episode because of how clutch she was.
Oh yeah, she was freaking clutch. Yeah, who was the caller for Blue? It was
Was it Drea?
yeah, yeah.
Was it?
She did all right too.
It was Drea, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Um, Jonathan did great in the calling. He just was bad at the puzzle. I think
Yeah,
that was the
which
thing. They thought he
no
could be.
shocker. This guy thought there were 11 puzzles in the puzzle challenge. Why are you putting him on the puzzle? That makes no sense. But hey,
Right.
teach their own.
Right. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like yeah, it was a fun challenge. I mean, I had fun watching it. It's just like they keep coming up with these new idols and new advantages and new twists and new this and that. And it's just like, can they not come up with new challenges? Is
Yep.
that too much to ask for? Like, have they reached a level where they're just like, you know, this is it. This is it. We've reached our challenge. Like, when's the last time we've seen a new challenge?
I know.
Tokachines.
No, I mean, I just think with COVID and stuff, it probably ain't gonna happen till 43. But you know, it's okay.
Um, who? Okay, I guess we can get to. I mean, obviously, not really too much to talk about with Myra getting voted off. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Like, you know, Omer, Lindsay, and Jonathan, like I said, are obviously a tight three. By the way, again, love the bromance between Omer and Jonathan. I think it's great. Um, I think that if they go far, they could go down as one of the best, like odd couples. You know, like I'm getting strong like Fishback and JT vibes from them. Um, Philip and Boston Rob were another great odd couple. That should be we should make that we should tell Verity to make that a top 10 on the
Top 10
channel.
bromances.
Just like odd couples, like
Oh, odd couples.
alliances that like those two people would never be friends in real life. Not because they don't like each other, but just because they're like so different or different walks of life. Like JT and Fishback, like if they hadn't met on the show, they would never be friends. You know, Philip and Boston Rob, Lex and Big Tom. You know, Rudy and Hatch. That might be number one, actually.
Rudy and Hatch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Rudy liked him, just not in a homosexual way.
Just no homo. Yeah.
No homo. Yes.
I'm
Was that
looking
where
at
no homo came from? Did
No.
Rudy invent no homo? No.
Rudy
Okay.
did not invent no homo, but maybe he inspired it. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm actually looking at the confessional count here. I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
Mike leading the episode with 6. No shocker there. He found the idol, but 0 from Roxroy, 0 from Lydia. The invisible this time.
Yep.
But and then Tori, Omar, Marianne, and Mike are the top leaders so far this season. So
Okay. Okay. Who's It's a little blurry because my screen is on StreamYard, but who's the leader for Green?
for Green, the leader is Mike.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at total. Okay, total. Okay, yeah, I see it. Oh, Mike's the leader in the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, good old Mike.
Okay. Um. Oh yeah, Wu and Tony, Doug. That was an interesting one. Yeah, there's definitely some odd couples, but like I wouldn't put like Lucina and Tony. Like they're a tight alliance, but they're not like an odd couple. Like Jeremy, even Jeremy and Natalie, to me didn't feel like an odd couple. Like JT and Fishback are an odd couple through and through.
Right.
So, yeah, Maria goes home. I mean, I know the edit made us think like, oh, is it going to be Marianne? But It wasn't
To
gonna be
me,
very.
it was never gonna be Marianne. I was like, I don't think they're gonna vote out Marianne. Like, they included the whole story with her brother. I was like, all right, I guess you're going home now.
Yeah.
You know, so I
That
was
see,
like,
that's like the one thing that I don't like about the backstories is they're making it easy to predict when people go home.
right,
Like as soon as I saw that backstory, I wasn't thinking like, oh, they're trying to trick us or they're trying to like start her arc here. It was like, okay, it felt like, okay, let's get in her backstory now before it's too late. That's what it felt like. And then when she went home,
right.
and then, you know, I don't know. And like the weird thing is though, is personally, I feel like based on what we're given, I feel like I would have got rid of Marianne. Is that weird?
Yeah. No, it's not weird because I feel like Mario's much more solid. I don't really know what they were thinking there, except maybe they just felt a stronger connection. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe, but it seems like they're getting annoyed by Marianne, Marianne, and Myra. Okay, but Myra feels like someone who's less. I mean, neither of them feel like schemers. Neither of them feel like backstabbers. Both of them feel like they just want to play and they love the game and just wanted to go out there and have fun. So, but Myra, being I guess maybe it's the age. Maybe to me, it seems like she could feel more trustworthy. But obviously, they thought different.
Maybe.
So, but she went home. Probably not going to be returning. I don't think she was exposed enough for people to, you know. And I know I said this um, earlier, but I do feel like um, the survivor casting people really like the story with her brother, which of course, how can you not? It's such a great story. I mean, you know, not a great story the fact that he's not alive anymore, but it's it's a story. I feel like
Inspiring.
yeah, I feel like they maybe wanted to capture that through her. But I like Smyra. She seems like very nice person, very sweet.
Yeah.
Um, didn't rub anyone the wrong way. I just don't think they saw an outcome where they could work with her long term, and they got rid of her because they had to. I feel like it wasn't Luvu was interesting last season because they made it to the merge without voting anyone out, but they were still scheming and plotting against each other the whole time. I feel like if the Orange tribe, what are they called? Baku, something Aku, Taku, something.
Taku.
Taku. I feel like if they would get to the merge, um, tight, with maybe just losing one person like Luvu, I don't feel like they would have been as scheming and conniving as Luvu was. I feel like they would have all worked together. They just feel like the Kumbaya tribe of this season. So, but it's only been 2 episodes, so we'll see. But
We shall.
what's who was your MVP of the episode?
Gotta give it to Daniel. I'd say I'm giving it to Daniel. Just awesome gameplay and in a great position.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Mike came right to him, told him how it was, and then he basically became Daniel's idol. Except he still gets a vote.
I know he's in a great position, unless Mike loses the idol. Which what's up with that? But
Unless
don't think it's gonna happen. I'm not buying into that. I'm not even gonna entertain that thought that he would lose the idol.
I think they edited that to make
Yeah,
it look.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not tripping about that. So
I think Mike literally couldn't find the idol for like 5 seconds, and they edited it to make it look like he lost it. Because sometimes he would be like, "Wait, where is it?" and his lips wouldn't even be moving. I was like, "He didn't say that."
yeah,
So, props to the editors because it was funny. It was a funny moment.
indeed. It had me a little worried, but I'm not buying it. So
Um, yeah, if I had to predict someone to go home next week, I mean it's super tough to tell. Wait, I'm trying to. I'm trying to put our teams back on. There we go. I mean, I think Chanel, Omar, Daniel, Lindsay, Jonathan, Mate, I think Swati's safe. Liddy, like honestly, I think next week could be Marianne,
Drea,
Drea.
Tori,
I think Tori's fine. Personally,
Roxroy.
yeah. Drea, Marianne, Roxroy, and maybe Lydia. I think those are probably the four on the block. Anything else would for sure be a blind side. And we're not getting much so far. These previews we haven't been getting much. They've been really leaving them up for interpretation.
Long story short, you're screwed, and I'm winning our fantasy draft. We know this already. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you want to tell everyone where you can find us on social media outlets across the World Wide Web?
You can find us on TikTok at Reality Pop TV, right?
Yeah, the link is in the description. It's Reality Pop TV.
We got a Discord in the description. You can join that. Talk Survivor with us. Become a member of Reality Pop if you're not, over on our main Reality Pop channel. Also subscribe over there if you're not subscribed over there. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Yes.
And
that's it.
Is that everything we're on?
That's
okay,
it.
Good.
Well, and Instagram, Reality Pop on Instagram.
Instagram, Reality Pop.
Facebook.
Check us out there. Facebook, Reality Pop.
Anywhere you can be.
You know the vibe.
We're there. Links to everything's in the description. Yeah, become a member. We do post-game interviews, and you actually get a chance to sit in on the interviews. Say hi. I know we had people in we interviewed JD for Ricard. We're doing a Ricard interview soon. Xander. Yeah, become a member. You can sit in and say what's up to them.
Yeah, bro.
Maybe ask them a question. And you get we do buffs. As you can see, we got buffs. It's a little dark in my room right now, but you get a chance to win a free season 42 buff or whatever season we're on at the time. But yeah, become a member. All you got to do is go to the main channel, Reality Pop, and on the channel's main page, right next to subscribe, it'll say join, and it's straightforward from there.
Yep.
So we'll see you guys next week. Sorry we had to do this on Sunday. It's my fault. It's 100% my fault. I'm on a movie right now, and we're working 14-hour days minimum. Next week's going to be the same. It's probably going to be a weekend. After that, for the rest of it, it'll be, unless something crazy happens, day after. And then starting week 4, we're going to start having guests. We have Iridium coming on at some point from Survivor YouTube. We have Idled Out, Survivor YouTuber. We're going to get Tiffany and Boche in the same episode. That one I'm super excited for. Sarah from season 42. I'm sure Carl will come back. Libby from Ghost Island said she wants to come back. Yeah. We're trying to get an Australian Survivor on at some point. Yeah. Try to get some guests for you guys. But all right. Love long and prosper, everybody.